welcome back to the channel. Now this is the beginning episode of the preliminary assessment of taking down the first third of the summer house where it's worst damage and the roof is just taking itself down. So I'm going to flip you around and show you. So this is the end room, and you can already see this is where the old lean-to was, and that's why that bit doesn't have render on. But we have two rooms, and the green door room kind of ends in that line there. So my plan is to just start taking some tiles off. We're due a little bit of rain, but I'm really not that bothered, because by the time the wood is down, dried and cut up for this year, it should be fine. The tiles, most of them, maybe 50%, might be cracked and wavy, sorry. So they're going to be a bit of a nuisance to reuse. But you can see, look at this corner here. Just absolutely disgusting. Really. So yeah, the wall on the other side, it's kind of like maybe 2 foot past that light switch. And you can see the gutter is absolutely poor. And that's where we've had to just make do and divert some water away from the kitchen wall there. You can see some damp spots from the past. That's my rubble pile. Still never got around to doing that, but I'm probably going to add to it today. And when we get to the first tool room, that's okay. That's still kind of sealed a little bit. And we're going to use some of the mud bricks off the top of the wall to do the triangle when we expose the truss there. So it's not a whole void all the way across, which it is if we don't stop anything coming in. So let's crack on, start taking some tiles off. So progress is pretty good so far, a couple of hours. To show you what it's like at the top. And people might wonder why we're taking the roof down. So that is a almost 5" by 5" beam that is supporting the apex or the peak, whatever you want to call it, can't really remember, the trusses, and it's just snapped, clean snapped. So you can see even that one, the next one along, which is on top of the tool room wall, that's also like an S shape. So you can see that once we start taking the roof off, there's some mud bricks there, which is the top of the next room wall, which is as far as I'm going today. And then I might just put some like carpets or something to drape down until we're ready to take the next section down, but that might be in the future. But the ceiling that I'm standing on is pretty solid, to be honest. You can see how they've keyed in some joists and like mud rendered across it. And I think the ceiling's at least a good few inches. So there's no real flexing in it when I'm walking on it, which I'm pretty grateful for. And slowly we're going to get to the good beams and the good part of the house where it can just be a nice reclamation and renovation job. Take the tiles off, take the battens off, vapor barrier it, board out the floor, the top of the ceiling, insulate it and put it all back on. So far so good. Whilst I've been up here making a mess, Nish has been tackling the weeds. So it's really coming on now. We got some corn coming out down the stick line there on the left. We got what was it in this one? Swede and dill in this patch here with the sticks. Carrots doing super good. You can probably see them from here now that they've been weeded out. What's in this far one here, Nish? Thyme and rosemary. And then we've got some radish and beetroot just behind Anisha where the lettuce is growing. The peas on the back line, they're really good. We've got some, is it spinach? Spinach and kale at the far line. I won't go too close because I've got my flops on because we're ready to go in for dinner in a minute. But yeah, we're really happy with the amount of produce we've got in a small amount of space. And that's all about learning about companion planting and square foot gardening. You can actually do a lot in a small amount of space. So this section here where it's overgrowing, we are planning on getting the petrol hand rotavator to churn it up again when we need it. But we're trying to plan on like the big squashes, maybe some pumpkins and like fast spreading vegetables for that section where it can stay away from this area. Anisha's also been hoeing all the pathways because you can imagine even walking on them and scutching them as you go, they can easily just invade the squares that we're trying to keep clear. But it's actually looking really mint, isn't it? Yeah, we got a lot of mint trying to get its way in, so that was just a little unintended joke. So we're hoping it should reach 21 degrees today, and that's why I thought I'd get out early before breakfast and try and take some of this roof down and get it tidied and cleared. And even after the 21 degrees today, we're expecting a little bit of a scattered rain. But as you know, the ceiling's coming down, the walls are coming down, so I'm not too fussed. As long as the kitchen is still weather tight, I'm happy with that. We can take our time and just keep picking out the good days to make good progress. So for the rest of the afternoon, I'm going to do a little bit more, try and get to that next mud wall that I showed you up there, and do a bit more weeding out. So stay tuned. We came out after lunch and then we've had a really good couple of hours. It does feel like it hit that 21 like I mentioned this morning. Did a bit more on the roof and we'll show you the weeding. So from first glance standing back, 99% of the joist for this first end room is down. Let's have a quick climb up. So you can see that I've used some of the tiles to make like a barrier, which saved me bringing up a load of bricks. Bit of metal down there and just cover that off to stop any animals getting in. You can see I got most of it off. That one goes underneath another 2-3 foot, so that'll have to be cut. And same with this big chunky one that's lent on a suitcase. And this one, all in all, really good progress. It's quite a new view from the garden. And let's go see how the veggies are doing. So not a lot of mess, to be honest. All the joists are there. And there's only a few that are square that I've just put down there. But it does look pretty cool. Okay, straight away you'll notice all the paths have been weeded. So Nish was going down this morning with the hoe, scraping all the tops off and patch. And you can just see Nish in the distance, tackling the overgrown strawberries in our neighbour's garden. So let's have a quick gander over there. So you probably won't be able to see the strawberries unless you can spot the white flowers. But just a few days of rain and then warm, humid weather has just absolutely shot everything that ever wanted to come up has come up. How do you feel about it, Nish?
It's a marathon. But the strawberries are big, like the leaves are big.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get round to thinning them out before they started to grow. So they are just growing wild. They're not growing within the boundaries of the planter that I set.
So that pretty much sums up a glorious day for once. We've been waiting for it, and you can see we've absolutely gone full speed ahead with all sorts of jobs. and really getting the hang of it now and bring on the rest of the good weather. That's a sign that summer's coming. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Division in.